Have you ever picked up a book and felt transported to another world? What if I told you that reading not only entertains, but also transforms your English skills? Welcome to today's episode, where we'll uncover the incredible power of reading and how the right books can significantly enhance your vocabulary, comprehension, and overall fluency in English. Whether you're a lifelong reader or just getting started, stay with us as we explore some fantastic titles and tips to elevate your language learning journey.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive where we dive deep into all sorts of fascinating topics.
That's right. And today
Today it's all about reading in English.
we're going to be looking at some awesome tips and advice from Learn English.
Yeah, Learn English, it's a website created by the British Council. Really great resource.
Oh, for sure. And, whether you're just thinking about starting to read in English or maybe you've tried it and hit a few snags, we're here to break down the whole process.
We're going to explore some seriously clever techniques.
Hopefully even inspire you to give it a go.
So one of the things Learn English highlights is how reading can, seriously boost your understanding of English.
It's true. It's not just about vocabulary, though that's definitely a huge part of it.
Right.
But it's also about grammar.
You pick up on the sentence structures.
You start to see how the language flows naturally, and it just kind of seeps into your own writing and speaking.
It's almost like you're absorbing the rules without even realizing you're learning them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's so cool about reading. It's not just passive consumption,
Right.
You're actively engaging with the language.
Every time you hit a new word, a new phrase.
Your brain's making connections, building pathways, and just strengthening your overall grasp of English.
It's like a workout for your brain, but way more fun than lifting weights.
Definitely more fun.
Now, Learn English really emphasizes finding material that, genuinely speaks to you.
That's key.
They suggest exploring topics you're already passionate about. Could be sports, could be film, cooking, whatever makes you tick.
Whatever your inner nerd loves. Because reading shouldn't feel like this chore,
Right, exactly.
Imagine, for instance, you're a massive football fan.
Huge.
Instead of slogging through a textbook, you could be reading the English language website of your favorite team.
You're getting all the latest news, the match analysis, maybe even diving into the history of the club.
And you're improving your English at the same time.
That's what I call a win-win.
Yeah.
What are some other maybe unique ways you've seen people kind of sneak English reading into their hobbies?
Oh, I've seen some really creative stuff. I knew this one person, they were super into fashion design.
Oh, cool.
And they started collecting these vintage English language fashion magazines.
That is so cool.
It was amazing because they not only picked up all this fashion terminology,
Right.
but they also got this glimpse into how style and culture have evolved over time.
It's like a history lesson and a language lesson.
Right.
All rolled into one.
Exactly.
And, really, when you think about it, almost any hobby has an English language side to it.
Definitely.
You could be reading travel blogs about places you want to visit.
Oh, yeah.
You could be diving into online forums for your favorite video game.
Totally. Or even following cooking blogs from chefs all around the world.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
And that's what's so exciting about this, right? It's not just about textbooks and grammar drills. It's about finding those authentic ways to connect with the language.
Absolutely. It's about making English a part of your life, not just something you study.
All right. So we've established that reading can be fun.
And we've talked about finding your niche.
But where do you actually begin? Especially if you're not exactly fluent yet.
Right, that's a great question. And that's where Learn English's recommendation of starting with short stories comes in.
Okay, short stories, that makes sense.
Particularly something called graded readers.
Oh, graded readers. Can you break that down for us a bit?
Yeah, for sure. Imagine taking a classic story like, say, Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, okay, I see where you're going.
Or even a modern thriller.
Right.
And you adapt it to different levels of English proficiency.
Gotcha.
So that's essentially what a graded reader does.
So they're tailored to your skill level.
Exactly. You'll find different levels, from beginner to advanced, so you can pick one that matches where you're at right now.
So it's not too intimidating?
Exactly. And they often come with these helpful vocabulary lists and comprehension exercises, which can really solidify your understanding.
It's like having training wheels for your English reading journey.
That's a great way to put it.
You're getting the support you need to build up your confidence and kind of gradually increase that reading stamina.
Exactly. You wouldn't run a marathon without training for it, right? Same idea here.
Do you have any favorite graded reader series or publishers you'd recommend?
Oh, absolutely. For beginners, the Oxford Bookworms Library is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
They've got a massive selection.
Really?
Tons of adapted stories.
Like what kind of stuff?
Everything. Classic literature,
Okay.
contemporary novels, even some nonfiction.
So there's really something for everyone.
Exactly. It's a great way to just try out different genres and see what clicks for you.
Now, what if you're like not a total beginner, but not quite ready to tackle, War and Peace in English?
Right.
Are there any like stepping stones between those graded readers and those massive novels?
Totally. For that in-between stage, I often recommend checking out short story collections.
Oh.
Or even online literary magazines.
Oh, interesting.
There are some great ones out there, like Electric Literature or The New Yorker.
I've heard of those, yeah?
They publish these shorter pieces that are perfect for building up your reading stamina.
Right, without feeling totally overwhelmed.
Exactly.
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, that Goldilocks zone,
Not too easy, not too hard.
but just engaging enough to keep you hooked.
Speaking of staying hooked, Learn English really stresses making reading a habit.
Oh yeah, that's crucial.
Like, they suggest working it into your daily routine, even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Absolutely. Consistency is key.
So it's about those little pockets of time we all have, right?
Exactly.
Those moments where we'd usually be scrolling on our phones or whatever.
Instead of mindless scrolling, you sneak in some reading.
So how do you actually, turn those moments into opportunities for growth?
Well, it's about creating these little rituals, these triggers that tell your brain, okay, time to read.
Oh, I like that.
So for example, imagine you're waiting for your morning coffee to brew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of reaching for your phone, you grab that short story collection you've been meaning to get into.
Oh, I see.
Or let's say you're on your daily commute.
Right.
Trade in that phone game for a few chapters of an English novel.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's all about connecting reading to something you already do without thinking.
Exactly. And before you know it, those minutes add up to hours, those pages turn into chapters.
And suddenly you're reading English like a pro.
Well, maybe not a pro right away, but you're definitely making progress.
Right. And the more you read, the
Ah.
more you're exposed to different writing styles, vocabulary, all that good stuff.
It's like a snowball effect, The more you read, the easier it gets.
And the more fun it becomes.
Exactly.
Now, we've talked about starting small, building those reading muscles, making it a habit.
Right.
But eventually you might feel ready to tackle those longer, more challenging
Yeah.
works,
The big ones.
Yeah, the books that have been staring at you from your bookshelf for months.
Definitely.
So how do we approach that next level?
Well, Learn English has a great suggestion for this.
Okay, let's hear it.
They recommend tackling books you've already read in your native language.
Oh, interesting.
Or books that have been adapted from movies.
I see where they're going with this. It's about that familiarity.
Exactly.
You already know the plot, the characters.
The twists and turns, the whole deal.
So it's less intimidating to dive into the English version.
Exactly. That familiarity gives you this framework, this support system as you're working through the English text.
It's like watching a foreign film with subtitles.
Yeah.
You get the story visually, but you're also absorbing the language.
And in this case, you're getting the story from your memory, but you're absorbing the language through the text.
It's like having a secret decoder ring. And hey, speaking of decoding, if you're finding this deep dive helpful, do us a favor and hit that like button.
And share it with a friend.
Yeah, spread the knowledge. Now, any tips for choosing that first, big English book? It can feel like a pretty daunting task.
It can be, but don't overthink it. Think back to a book that really captivated you in your own language. Was it a thriller, a love story, a historical biography, whatever genre you love?
Right.
There's probably an English equivalent out there just waiting for you to discover it.
And wouldn't reading that same book in English, add a whole new layer to your understanding?
Oh, absolutely. You might pick up on wordplay you didn't catch before.
Right.
Or cultural references.
Things that maybe got lost in translation.
Exactly. It's a totally different experience.
It's like watching a movie with the director's commentary on.
Yes.
You're getting a deeper dive into the whole thing.
You see the artistry in a new way.
And hey, speaking of deep dives,
Oh, yeah.
if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell.
So you don't miss out on any of our future episodes.
We've got some awesome topics lined up.
We do. And remember, the journey of reading in English, it really is a journey.
It's not about being perfect right away.
It's about progress.
It's about embracing those moments where you have to look up a word.
Because that's when the real learning happens.
That's when your brain is making those connections.
And don't forget to celebrate those little victories along the way.
Yes. Finished a chapter, give yourself a high five.
Mastered a new grammar rule, treat yourself to something nice.
It's all about those small wins that make the whole journey worthwhile.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll even discover a new favorite author along the way.
That's the beauty of reading. It opens up all these new possibilities.
It really does.
So to wrap things up, reading in English doesn't have to be this big, scary thing.
Start small, find what you love, and make it a habit.
And don't be afraid to challenge yourself.
Most importantly, have fun with it.
Exactly. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the discoveries, and hey, maybe even inspire someone else to start reading in English too.
That would be awesome.
And if you enjoy this deep dive, do us a favor and share it with a friend who might be on their own language learning adventure.
We appreciate your support.
All right, until next time, happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the power of reading. Remember, every book you read is an opportunity to expand your English skills and immerse yourself in new ideas. So pick up a book, make reading a habit, and watch your language skills soar. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with fellow learners and subscribe for more language tips. Until next time, happy reading!